Web3
To Web3 TV. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today we're at Dubai FinTech Summit 2025. Joining me right now is Neil, CEO and founder of Rentify. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Good to be here, Lisa.
And how's the Dubai FinTech Summit been for you so far?
Well, as you can see, buzzing. I mean, there's people everywhere. There's lots of conversations. It's a really good summit to be a part of.
And you're one of the exhibitors here today. So,
that's correct.
And I know that you're launching your business. So tell me a little bit more about Rentify and what you guys are doing.
Well, first about the summit, I think Rashid, my co-founder, and I, when we were starting to build Rentify out, you can build endlessly, or you choose a date and you say, okay, this is when we're going to launch. And for us, the FinTech Summit was really going to be the culmination of all that we needed to do to be ready to have the business out. And that's why the FinTech Summit is really important for us. And since last year, we've been building out. So we have lots of landlords and their apartments on the platform. We have the rewards program, which is set up, all of that. But yes, from the consumer availability perspective, we're going to be out in the app stores very soon.
So you're solving one of these tedious problems that exist around renting. So tell me a little bit more exactly what problem you're solving.
All of us who are living in UAE and Dubai have had to deal with finding a place to stay. And that is the most basic thing that you want, a place you can call home and go and relax after the craziness of the day, etc. However, renting itself has been a stressful process for everybody. It's not about finding the right apartment. There are many great platforms which help you do that. There is a great agent ecosystem which helps you find the right place also and narrow it down. But then that's when the friction really starts. You want to sign an agreement, you got to send something over WhatsApp, wait for somebody to sign it, send it back to you, take it for registration. And, I see you nodding. You've probably been through that. Yeah. And then you got to give checks for the year. And you're first like, okay, whoa, checks? Like, how do I give checks?
I'm from Sweden, and I don't think we've ever had checks since I was born, at least. So it was a new concept. I mean, it's not new, but I just had never seen one before.
And, my mother had always been behind my life for a bad handwriting. And I knew it would come to bite me sometime, and it was for writing checks. My handwriting does not cut the banking system. So I would most likely give the agent to write the check and I would sign. And, it's not only that, but after you start living, you have a problem with the apartment. You got to trace the agent, tell them that my bathroom suddenly at 12 in the night is flooded with water which has come out. What do I do about it? Who fixes it? Does the landlord fix it or I fix it? And all of that conversation is happening over WhatsApp. It's such a primitive way to deal with a problem, which is a really problem. And for us as a tenant, it is the most important thing which is happening. But we also got to appreciate that landlords have maybe 100 apartments, 200 apartments, depending on the portfolio, or even more. And they have 100 different tenants telling them something is wrong and that needs the most urgent, their views on immediately. The problem starts to compound as you think about it more, that you have given the checks, which for 6 months later, you don't remember the date it was supposed to be due. Yeah. And if you're like me and you keep moving money around in different bank accounts, you don't want the check to be dishonored. No. But it just happened that you gave the check from one account, which was not top of mind to keep funded. And now you got to remember that, so that, and then this entire transaction or discussion with the landlords, the communication day-to-day basis, all of this is what Rentify solves for.
So how does that look like for the user?
You decide on the apartment. You after that start with submitting. For the landlord, it's a verification process which happens instantly using AI, and we use a lot of AI. We don't talk about it as much and say that we are an AI first business, because I think we are doing what a lot of businesses are beginning to realize they should do: use technology to solve the real problem, and not really say that this is the problem and the technology I do with first and then look for the problem to solve with it. So it starts with the AI verification of the tenants, which is an instant, then submission of the documents, etc. After that, the tenant fills in the details of that particular apartment, sets up the payment process, and they're pretty much good to go. The agreement process, everything happens on the platform. Also, for the first time, they have a flexibility that they want to choose, pay exactly the number of checks that the landlord asks them, whether 2, 1, or 4, or they would like to pay it over 12 payments, which are digital payments. And that's what we facilitate with our business, which is the Rent Now, Pay Later.
So it's a platform where both the landlord and the tenant can access to manage a specific property.
That's
when
correct,
it comes
yes.
to the lease, but also maintenance and other factors.
Yeah,
Right.
and other than that, two more things. The first is the agents are very much a part of this, so we address their needs and them managing the properties of the tenants who have rented through them and being able to create a relationship with them and solve the problems for. And beyond that, it also we have built in a very unique rental rewards program that for everything that you do on the platform, you are rewarded for it, whether it is paying the rent. And that again started from the very simple thought that today, if we were to buy an airline ticket, go for a movie, buy grocery, there's always a rewards element attached to it. Why should renting, which is the largest part of your monthly expense for most people,
Yeah,
there is no reward?
Yeah, and I know that you've launched Rentify, but essentially you're a tech entrepreneur.
Yes.
So what do you see in the fintech landscape? What kind of trends are you seeing for 2025?
I think it's hyper transparency as a core, which also is one of the three core principles that we are built on. Know exactly what I'm going to pay for, who am I going to pay, what are the charges associated with. So building a level of transparency, which the fintech now does, because of if you look at every segment of fintech, which is right now really the talk of the town, whether it is cross-border payments, it is revolutionizing the way that you bank and the way that you're able to the revenues that or the money that you're able to generate out of it, the way that you invest, which is all the wealth tech which is happening, right? All of them fundamentally are promising you greater control over the money that you are making, that all of us work really hard to do. And how do you either grow it, save it, or spend it better?
Definitely. And now there's so many fintech companies and they're trying to kind of embed, for example, what you're doing with taking different parties and putting it into one platform. And then there are, let's say, financial fintech bank solutions where they're integrating a lot of different features or bank financial services all into one app. But when it comes to that, how do you kind of build trust and get this user stickiness to your apps?
With the incredible response that Rentify has got, I think I can finally say that it is because of what we really believed in first, which is one, of course, find a great problem to solve with, which is a real problem, and not a problem that you can maybe just make a little better. So we started with that. And second is, for the long haul, build a very strong brand, a brand that people recognize, resonate with, want to be a part of it, and really be a part of it with every aspect of their life.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that's good advice. Well, I just want to say good luck. And if anyone wants to learn more about Rentify, where can they find you?
Right now, they can go to the web and go to gorentify.com and find all the information there.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. It's been a pleasure.
Lisa.
And I'll be bringing you more interviews. My name is Lisa Amnegard, and you're watching Web3 TV.
Web3.tv